All right, all right. Good morning, everybody. Hoping and praying for a good stream today. I'm telling you what, I have gone through the settings over and over and over again, and tested and retested. So if there's any buffering or anything of that nature, it's going to send me over the edge. Not really, of course. Hey, good morning to you, Paulie. Yeah, TR, there's a update for OBS in it. Something happened with my settings, I don't know. But looking right now, it seems like everything is okay. If you all can hear me okay and it's not buffering for you, just throw up a 1 real quick. We'll see how long it takes for y'all to hear this. Hopefully, oh, nice. Yeah. All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are in the world. I hope you all are doing well. Just a quick reminder, this is not financial advice. The information on this channel is provided for education, informational purposes only, without any express or implied warranty of any kind, including warranties of accuracy, completeness, or fitness for any particular purpose. Feel free to pause the stream, read this. Good stuff. All right. Good morning, everybody. I think that we are going to start out this morning with, and as always, we are looking for setups. I'm looking for a 3-day cycle, 3-day setups, weekly templates, mainly weekly templates, the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday opportunities. It is now Wednesday. I'm looking for those opportunities that will hopefully be either reversing or blowing off in the direction of the current trend. So I've been starting out these live streams going over these PDFs because I think that it's really good to understand for you all, right, that what you're looking for, and then I go to the screen and actually do it on those 5 pairs. So that way you actually know what I'm talking about as I'm going through, and the live streams will hopefully be more beneficial to more people instead of only the people that, you know, understand kind of what I'm talking about. So number one, going to go to these talking points here. So this is like what I'm looking for on a daily basis and a weekly basis. I'm using the direction of breakouts essentially as like, we talk about the 3 things that markets do: breakout, trend, breakout, reverse, or stay in a trading range. You can look at the weeks of breakouts to help you determine whether or not you can have a 3-day template. So let's say that like last week was week 1 of breakouts to the upside, and then we start a new week. I would be saying like, okay, well, last week was a breakout to the upside. It's either going to reverse or continue to trend. So maybe I can look for a 3-day template that is good in the sense that maybe like Monday pulls back, is like a dumping day, and then Tuesday is a first green day. Or even maybe Tuesday's like a breakout day 1 towards the upside type of thing. And then Wednesday could be the trade. So this would be like, hey, breakout, and then the pullback turns into a 3-day template. Hopefully that makes sense. But that's what I use the weeks of breakouts for. And also I look for overextensions. So if we've got like 3 or 4 weeks of breakouts, that's just really good, valid information for me to be using. And then I can say, hey, today was this type of template. It was 3 days of breakouts, and then today had 3 sessions of breakout. It's Friday, it's Wednesday, whatever. It's just good information to have in the back of your brain. All right, days of breakouts. Again, 3 days of breakouts being overextension. Breakout day 1, breakout day 2 could just be a directional thing. The market's only going to do 3 things. And depending on how the day is set up, if it's breakout day 1, we could be looking for breakout pullback. So maybe like we get breakout day 1, and then the next day you get 3 levels of rise or 3 sessions of rise for a high of day trend trade to continue the trend. That could be an option. Or you get breakout day 1, and then just in general they work the low of the day. Maybe it's even the low of the week, and you get a short squeeze off the low of the week. Again, the market only is going to do 3 things, and that's the whole idea behind these breakout days. And also what Stacey Burke talks about with, you know, other time frame traders driving that market. It's pushing because we have all time frames involved, daily, 4 hour, 1 hour, 15 minute, whatever it be. All right. And then, of course, looking at the 3-day cycle, 3-day setups, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Now, these 3-day cycle setups and the 3-day template setups are the exact same. It's just the 3-day cycle could be over a Thursday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It doesn't matter what day of the week. It just resets the cycle in a certain way. And then I look for that template for the cycle. And then with the 3-day setups, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, it's the same type of template. It's just Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, either looking for trend trades or reversals. All right, and then we have the signal days. These signal days, of course, coming from Stacey, Burke, and other traders as well, just with different names. First red day, first green day, inside day, basically an inside bar on a daily chart. You also have outside days, basically peak formation high, peak formation low, and then the price action that we're looking for. So these are all the macros, the larger pieces of the puzzle that we're looking for, able to identify. And then once the day comes and we're looking at, hey, how do I know to get into the market? What sort of price action should I be looking at on a pair for me to say, hey, that's the pair I should be watching today? I put these little steps in here. So like stair-stepping price action, ramping volume into a high or into a low, 3 push patterns at the level, high of day, low of day, previous day's high, previous day's low. Not 3 pushes all over the place, but specifically at those levels. How do they get there? And then once they get there, how do they behave? Peak formations, M's and W's, things like that. First pullback. So this is me saying, hey, once I'm going to get in, what am I actually going to get in on? I'm going to get in either on the right side of an M or a W, or once that M or W breaks down or breaks out, I'm going to get in on the first pullback. So I'm either trying to get in here or I'm trying to get in over here on the first pullback. All right. And that is very, very consistent. That is all part of my entry criteria. Looking for short squeeze and long squeeze patterns, higher highs and higher lows, lower low, lower high, lower lows, lower highs, higher high, higher low. Part of the entry criteria. All right. So those are kind of like the things that we're looking for as we're going forward. And then all of those should always resemble this playbook. The playbook is a note card style of, page, essentially. These are all the setups that I'm looking for and the variations that they can take form into. So I try to find things on the day and over the course of 3 days that resemble this, because it tells me exactly what to do and exactly what to look for and wait for. And then if it doesn't happen, let's say that on this day over here, I'm looking for a long trade because that's what my playbook is telling me. We've made a higher high, and then I'm waiting for a squeeze. And then this breaks down and goes vertical to the downside. Well, hey, great. Then I've used one of my 3 options: long, short, do nothing. And I've just said, hey, I'm going to do nothing because that's not what was supposed to happen. All right, that's why I really like this playbook, and it's been a very effective way of using and trading and things like that. So let's go to now. Looking at this week and Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm going to go and I'm basically going to start listing off all of my details leading up to today, Wednesday. Looking for those Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday templates. Looking for the signal days, inside days, outside days, 3 days breakouts, first red, first green days, and then making a decision on whether or not today could be a decent day or not. All right, and just a reminder, this is not meant to be hey, I've said that at the Nasdaq is a good pair to trade. It's not about, hey, what's my favorite pair? It is always about my favorite template, not the pair. I don't have a favorite pair. I don't have, the US dollar, Japanese yen is not better than, in my opinion, the Euro USD or the Nasdaq. It's about which pair has the best template that I'm used to seeing, and then that's the best one that I trade. Now, I do trade these 5 pairs because the New York session, they tend to move and they have a lot of volatility in that session, and that's why I have chose these 5 to primarily look at. However, if I don't have a template on one of these pairs, then I just don't have a trading day, and that's totally fine. And I also trade futures now, so I have a little bit less options, which is fine with me. Okay, starting out on the Nasdaq. Now, I've left my notes up from previous days. This was trade that I took on Monday, was over here, and then yesterday as well. I did not take this one. I took oil yesterday. But this idea over here, we've been going up to the upside multiple days, 3 days of breakouts. Whenever you have 3 days of breakouts, The one of the next things that you could look for, or me personally that I look for always with 3 days of breakouts, is structure. So number one, they triggered previous day's low over here, which could indicate a pump and dump. We've been going higher. They triggered the previous day's low. That could indicate pump for a dump. We also have 3 days of breakouts. All right, so I know all those things. Then on the day that I'm supposed to be looking at structure to determine whether or not I have a trade, we have a higher high and then a lower low, which tells me I should look for a pump and a dump, even though I'm already looking for a pump and a dump. It's just confirming, right? So we got the lower low, and then timing, 9:40, new hour opens up 9:55 and goes vertical down. And it goes right back to where that pump began down here at the lows. There's that little pen, push 1, push 2, kind of a larger consolidation for push 3, failed breakout. All right. Then we get a first red day. So this was day 1 of the 3-day cycle. Failed breakout at the high of the current week. I'm going to label that off. They broke out. The breakout failed. And then we also get a first red day. A day that opened, attempted to go higher at the high of the current week. Fails. Now we've created the opening range for the week and also a potential first red day to allow me to look the next day for a potential high of day sell. Now, I was watching this for a sell when this bar formed, and I was going to, trade this short, but I was going to wait for them to trade back into the high, and then oil caught my attention, and I ended up trading that. So they traded back into the high, which was perfect, and the way that they got there was even perfect. Push 1, push 2, push 3, or a 1, 2, 3. This is all in a 1-bar range. So 1, 2, 3 goes into consolidation and breaks down, engulfing to the downside. There's the first pullback for the continuation down. Really good setup at the high of the day after first red day, back down to, again, where that dump or that pump began, which was this pin over here from the beginning of the week, or the end of last week, excuse me. Going back to where that pump began, which was back over here. Now that leads us into today. Day 1, 3-day cycle, first red. Day 2, 3-day cycle. Did we break out and succeed? No, it broke out and pulled back up. So what has happened now? We've got day 1 of the cycle, day 2. Things are evolving. Things are continuing to change. What kind of template, based off of my tips and tricks slide, or based off of my playbook, should I be looking for with the information that I have up on the screen? The very first thing that pops out to me is, yes, today's this was day 1, day 2, they broke out and failed, and it reverted back to day 1. But what happened when that happened was they put in a peak formation high at the high of the current week. They broke down and put in a peak formation at the low of the current week with also this peak high, peak low. So we got peak high, peak low, and then also on the day itself, we have peak formations being formed. So what does that tell me to look for today? I'm going to look for squeezes. I'm going to look for things that are starting to break out of rectangles. All right, I'm watching the high and the low of the day and time of day. So I'm going to be waiting for that 9:30 open, 10 o'clock. We got some news on the calendar date 30. That's a pretty important news event. So I'll definitely be waiting till after that. But if the market continues making higher highs and higher lows, so for example, a good trade example would be, so we've broken out, we've pulled back, we've made a higher high. This higher high here and a pullback to a higher low now. This is our consolidation in our rectangle, right? So a good setup to me would be maybe this starts to break out and then it trades back down into the low. We get a peak formation and an engulfment for a trend trade. So I would take this as low-hanging fruit back up through the high of the day, and then also be looking for the range expansion of this consolidation to go higher, hopefully back up towards previous day's high. Now, flip side of that, we could get the breakdown. Maybe this is a trend continuation. They're working the high of the day. It's not going anywhere. They just keep working the high. Maybe this is the beginning of a 3 push pattern, 1, 2, 3 to the high. They come up here, they make a higher high, breaks down, makes a lower low, pulls back. And I'm going to look for that pump for a dump, which would put us back at the trend trade would be at the low of the week from yesterday down here. Okay. So that's my 2 options. If I was going to trade this pair today, that is the template that we were looking at, that I'm personally looking at. Peak formation high, peak formation low, consolidation in the middle, Holly, is it inside of Monday? Nope, they trigger previous day's low of Monday down here. Is my audio still good? Is everybody hearing me okay, seeing me okay? There's no buffering. It's not blurry. You all can see okay? Please let me know, because I've had these issues the past couple weeks, which has been incredibly embarrassing. I'm not super technology savvy, and I didn't know how to fix it, but I figured it out. All right, perseverance. All right, good stuff. For now, yeah, we're gonna knock on wood, right? All right, so US 30. Now I've deleted all my annotations from this. Last week, taking a look at weeks of breakouts and things like that, and we can even look over here. I'll go back to the Nasdaq and just double check real quick. Yeah, so this was week 1 breakouts 2 weeks ago over here. So this is the first week breakouts. And then we get the second week. And then on the third week, we triggered it in. So we could still be going higher because we're in breakout to the upside. Or maybe this will just be a consolidation week. Who knows? But nothing I can really do with those weeks of breakouts is what I'm really kind of trying to get at. So this is last week's low over here for US 30 now. This had been in breakouts for a few weeks, it looks like. They actually triggered previous week's low over here, and then they've pumped it back up over here. And it appears that maybe now we are breaking down. So that's a lot of kind of looks like this, and it kind of looks like that. We don't have a week of breakouts to the downside confirmed yet. So I can't do anything with that. All I can do is look at this current week's template. I'm going to start on what I think is Thursday of last week. So starting Thursday of last week, that was breakout day 1. We get breakout day 2, breakout day 3, breakout day 4. And so we're into a bit of a trend and an extended run, if you will, to the downside. So what does that tell me? Well, we're at least 3 days of breakouts down. Okay. That's one detail that I need to pay attention to. So 3 days of breakouts. The very next thing that I should be looking at is structure. Obviously, we have a bearish trend. We're making lower lows and lower highs. The next thing I can do is, using my rules for structure, I can look and see, hey, there was a low in place here. They broke the low. Where's the highest place that they pulled back to? It would have been over here. This was a higher high. Now, just because it made a higher high, does that mean it's going to go back up today? Absolutely not. By no means. But what it does tell me is there's a possibility, and I should be marking off this low, which is the low of the current week, and also it looks like we've already worked down into it, the low of the day. And how did they come off of this higher high? They've came down in a bit of a 1, and a 2, and a 3. So now, looking at today, I can go and say, hey, there's a potential. 3 pushes is very subjective. But there is potential for, that short squeeze setup off the low of the week. So I can go down to a 5-minute chart, and I'm going to look and see, hey, we've been making lower lows and lower highs today as well. Have we made a higher high? I think there's a bit of a lower low here. And then that would make this my high. Okay, so maybe not a really good higher high just yet. So we're still making lower lows and lower highs. But you kind of get the idea. If we were to have made a higher high, I'd be looking for a short squeeze. As of right now, maybe not looking for anything if it's not set up properly. Let's take a look at the other type of template that we could be looking for. We would be looking for a Monday. Monday's the opening range. Tuesday, what is Tuesday done? Hey, Tuesday was a breakout day. So this is an opening range breakout. That means that I need to, the very next step should be, I'm going to mark off this level because the market only does 3 things: breakout trend, breakout reverse, or stay in a trading range. And my question to myself is always going to be, hey, is this going to continue, or is this going to, go back up and the breakout's going to fail, or at least go back up for the money and go for this level? All right. So I don't know. But usually the thing that I like to say is, hey, Asia's made a lower low. London's pulled back. New York's the trade. So what's happened right now is London has made the lower low. We've pulled back into the beginning of New York, and we have an engulfment. So maybe this right now, 8:19 in the morning, I don't know, but we've got push 1, push 2, push 3 to the high, maybe volume trapped above push 2. Maybe we're going to at least go back to retest the low. I don't know for sure. Please don't take this as a trade recommendation. But that's usually the idea behind this is Asia makes a lower low, London pulls back, New York's the trade, or London makes a lower low. Maybe we've pulled back in the gap time in this case, and the New York's the trade. It's all about timing. Right now, it's a little too early for me. But those are my two options. 3 days breakouts, looking for a short squeeze, or weekly template. New York, or Tuesday was a opening range breakout to the downside. London makes a lower low, pulls back for the New York session trade. And we will see. Maybe it continues to set up. Maybe they hold it up here at the high for a little bit longer. Okay, these were my notes from yesterday for the Russell. I went into this first red. We had a first green day and then a first red day the next day. And I said could be a high of day, first red day short, or could be 3 days breakouts down, low of week short squeeze. So I had just like I'm doing with you all right now, I do this every single day. I put my options up on the screen. What am I looking for? Why am I waiting for that? So we had week ones of breakouts down to the downside last week. All right, Friday closed in breakouts down, and we got this first green day on Friday that resulted immediately the next day in a first red day. So that's why I had this laid out like this, because I was like, okay, well, we could get the continuation, but depending on the timing, it could also be a short squeeze. So this first red day, yes, it did go vertical to the downside at 9:30. Really big bar at the low of the day, at the low of the week. Previous week's low or previous day's low has been triggered. And then it immediately goes into consolidation. Drive 1, drive 2, drive 3, biggest bar on the screen into the low. And if you project this line across, volume is trapped below push 2 as it should be. It is also trapped at the low of the day as it should be. And you can see how they reverse off the low of the day very aggressively. And when that happens, who is caught? Everybody who traded the breakout of push 2. So we can even project down from this pin, right? So if someone traded the breakout of push 2, they're being forced to buy down low. And then when it reverses, it traps all of those people and it shouldn't come back. And that's part of the reason I use that methodology or that way of seeing the market, is because a lot of times it's very easy to spot engulfment, pin hammer for the short squeeze. That's a short squeeze back up towards the high of the day. Which, did it get there? Yes, it did. Beautiful. Perfect. That's exactly how it should have behaved. Anyways, going into the analysis for today. So 3 days of breakouts. I had that listed yesterday. Let's see. So this higher high could have been the beginning of the short squeeze. That's why I had this listed off like this. We had 3 days of breakouts, and also this could be the higher high. That didn't happen. So yesterday was an opening range breakout now to the downside. So next thing I do, I project this level across. Is the breakout going to succeed, or is the breakout going to fail? So today, let's take a look here. I got the end of day consolidation. We'll draw that out, something like this. So what should have happened is Asia makes a lower low, London pulls back, New York is the trade. We've got London at the low, not really making a lower low. And then now we've pulled back towards the high. We're starting to break out to the upside. So maybe not the most ideal setup or opportunity. The only thing I could do is maybe watch how they behave here at the high of the day. If it continues to work the high and it breaks down, great. But right now, all that has happened is we're breaking out of rectangles. We had a smaller rectangle down low. We have the larger rectangle that is now broken out of at the high of the day. I don't really have anything super set in stone on this that I'd like to be watching, unlike the other indexes that I think I have a little bit more clear idea of what to look for. So I'm going to go to oil now. This is a trade that I took yesterday. I've left my notes up there on the screen. We have breakouts to the downside from last week. Breakout day 1, breakout day 2, and then this breakout day 2 on Monday resulted in a break in structure to the upside, or a higher high. This is the pump or the breakout, the higher high for the dump and the pump. All right, so they dumped it, comes down, and then we get the squeeze. So this peak formation low at the low of the current day, I couldn't get in on the peak formation low. I couldn't get on the right side of the peak formation. So what does that leave me with? It leaves me with the first pullback, which is exactly what I did over here. Going back for where that dump began, which was the previous day's high. Okay. So all I did was wait for peak formation low to be formed. This little engulfment bar down over here, down on a lower time frame, getting in on this 5-minute bar here. New 15-minute bar open and going back for previous day's high. You can even see how they got there. If you're looking for reasons to close, big burst to the high, push 1, pause. Big burst to the high, push 2, pause. Big burst to the high, push 3, and an engulfment to the downside at the high of the day after triggering previous day's high. Trying not to get greedy and getting out. Anyways, so for today, what kind of template could we be looking for? I'm going to delete all this. We had the first green day, higher high. Yesterday, broke it, pulled back again. So this is kind of resulting in a bit of a turtle peak. Day one of the cycle, we keep pushing higher and higher and higher over here. So what kind of template? So I'm looking at this as the tips and tricks would have been failed breakout, looking to go back towards the other side of the range. All right, so maybe we're going back towards the other side of the range, except on this day over here, we've gone vertical to the upside. So that's probably not the template that I should be looking for. I need to focus on this day right here. Okay, if I'm going to take this trade or if I'm looking at this, we're at the high of the current week. Okay, there's the high of the week. We've broken out once, twice, ending in a 1, 2, 3 to the high. So all I'm going to do is look at structure. But all I have right now is what I just said. I don't have necessarily a great 3-day template. I just have this day's price action, which is very stair-stepped, and it does look pretty nice. I wouldn't mind watching this just for the price action alone. We're at the high of the week. If they're going to work the high of the week and break down, great. I'm not going to go long at the high of the week, but we'll see. Okay, gold. I've left my notes up on the screen for this one as well. We have breakouts day 1. Yesterday, breakouts day 2, taking us higher. This was an opening range breakout on Tuesday. So on day 3, I could be looking for Asia makes a higher high. London pulls back. New York is the trade. We get a consolidation. A higher high. Uh-oh. All right, did they pull back enough over here? I think so. Even if they didn't, I could be conservative at this point and use this as my low. So we get a lower low on the inside. And then that means that this is our low. And this is our high. And we're trading back up into the high. So a market that's in breakout to the upside with 1 day, 2 days, 3rd day of breakouts now, and we have the lower low. Let's check the week of breakouts real quick. Looks like we've just been going up. Caslow, yes, it did. And that's the reason I took it as well. First green day trade, short squeeze, first pullback. I'm going to skip these ads for you all. If you all are in here right now, I do appreciate you all being here. If you all could hit the little like button, it does help the stream quite a bit. And it probably needs it after 2 weeks of technical issues. So, yeah. Let's go to gold. We'll finish this off. 3 days breakout. So what I've done is essentially I've labeled off, hey, this is my signal. This is also my template for the week. We've got an opening range breakout and Asia made a higher high, but we've also made a lower low. So the idea with this would be, hey, Asia's made a higher high, London's pulled back, and then New York goes vertical to the upside, which honestly could still happen. But because this criteria is playing out, I'm going to focus on this. The fact that we've made the lower low. I'm going to watch the high of the day. I'm going to watch previous day's high. I'm going to watch how it behaves over here in this consolidation after the news, which is about to happen in 1 minute. We'll see. Yep, Jack, I beat you to it, but I'm on delay, so you kind of beat me to it, I guess. I think this is good. I like gold because it's meeting criteria. I like the Nasdaq because I've seen this pattern a lot, and I have a feeling that it's going to provide some good price action for the day. This peak high, peak low, all in one day. This 3-day template, seen it a lot, and I wish that I could go find another one for you. It happens quite frequently. I might have a picture of it. Put a 1 up there if you all want me to find this picture, although most of you probably already seen it. Yeah, start letting me know what pairs do you want to see. What pairs do you all want to see? So I can go back and find those. Hey, I'm going to find this picture real quick. It's going to take me 2 seconds. I'm hoping. I think it was in this one. If it's not in this one, well, then at least I'm scrolling through all this and you can see all the weekly templates. These are all the tips and tricks, variations I'm really searching for. I don't think it's in this one. Oh, no. I'm not going to remember which one it's in. All right. I'm going to have to find that for a later date. Could you do pound yen? Pound yen. I'm seeing a lot of pounds. What is the pound doing? Okay. All right. So this is looking like a little bit like gold, right? How long have we been going up to the upside? Okay, so we had 3 days of breakouts down. This was a first green week, and now we're in week 1 breakouts going back up. Be very careful. Whenever you're coming, I'm going to say this. Whenever you're coming off of a fresh trend, for example, this is we're coming off of a fresh downtrend. This is kind of going outside the scope of looking for templates, but this is just truth of the market, I suppose. We're coming off of a fresh trend that has been going down for quite some time. This is a first green week. Now, this was not a breakout week, but we did consolidate in a certain way that this week is now breaking out. Be very careful trying to trade a reversal coming off of a fresh trend or the start of a fresh trend. This could be looking to build momentum and blow off. All right, so this could be doing a larger range expansion. Be very careful trying to counter trend this. Now, we have triggered previous week's high, and we've come up once, twice, and a third time. All right, breakouts day 1, breakouts day 2, breakouts day 3. So let's go to now what we know and understand. 3 days of breakouts in one direction. Just know what to look for, right? Hey, I know that after 3 days of breakouts on this day, I should be looking for a lower low on the inside. So we're making higher highs and higher lows. They made the lower low, but then now they also made the higher high, and they've started a new, they've been going back up. So they're working the high right now. If I was going to take this, I would like to see this break back down here. Basically start letting these shorts out. Big down close candle, that'd be fine. But we're in breakout right now to the upside in an up moving market. So be very careful. I'd be on a 5-minute chart. Didn't trigger previous day's low. So we're still in an up moving market. But we're making higher highs and higher lows. I would just want to see this. It's a 3 days of breakouts template. I would like to see it make a lower low first before me doing anything. And realistically, what would be even better is if they trigger previous day's low and then you get a new 3-day template, they pump it back up and roll over. Those are my thoughts. Let's see, silver. Go to a 15-minute chart. Okay, silver had an inside day yesterday. We had a breakout day followed by an inside day. Is this inside day, is it going to be a pause day? Was this also a first red? It was just a narrow range day. Okay, we've triggered the previous day's low now. How long has gold been going up? Week 1 breakouts up. Then we get a breakout to the upside, triggering previous week's high. We got this. Nice. Okay, so silver. Inside day. They've triggered previous day's low. They have not triggered previous day's high. That was very close. So triggering this, we're in an up moving market potentially, right? We've got a breakout to the upside. This is only going to do 3 things. It's either going to continue to break out higher or it's going to fail and come back down. All I can do is look at the objective facts. We had an inside day. They've triggered the previous day's low. That means that we have stops at the high. I'm blind. There we go. Okay, so inside bar stops are at the high, which is going to put the stops at the high of the day. I would be watching to see, Asia has brought this down very low. How did they do that? Big burst, smaller candles, big burst, smaller candle, big burst. So this is probably at previous day's low is where the volume is trapped or is being trapped or could be trapped. So if we get an engulfing bar that runs back up and leaves all of these lower closes down here, I would be looking for that long trade back to the high. Coming off the low of the day, coming off of after triggering previous day's low. Number 2, what's the other option for this? This is an inside bar. The market only does 3 things. One of those things is breaking out, pulling back, and expanding a range. So if we've broken out and we're pulling back, we could be expanding this. So I would just be waiting for price action to confirm one of those things. Okay. That's the 3-day template. Monday, opening range. Tuesday, inside. We triggered previous day's low. Could be a trend trade towards the upside or reversal trade back down towards the low. Hopefully that makes sense. Let's see. Pound yen, pound Aussie. Euro Aussie. Okay, opening range for the week. Failed. Hey, so there's that template again. Number 1, we've got this peak formation high that was all the way up here. So this is this one here. And then they came down into this. But also within this current week, they made a low, they made a high. This was the first red day. And then you get the first green immediately after that. And then that leads us to today. So we're trading back up now at the high of the week. We've triggered previous day's low down over here. This is our box. This is our rectangle. We've traded back up once, twice. This one's a little tough to say. I don't have much of a template to go off of other than peak formation high, peak formation low. And we're at the high, back up at the high of the week. Is this a pump for a dump? How long has this been going up? It's pretty fresh. Last week was breakout week 1. Let's see. EU. We'll take a look at EU. I don't really care for this too much. I think it has potential, but I'm not 100% sure, so I would have to avoid it. Let's see. Yep, 3 days of shorts have been triggered. 1, 2, and 3. So 3 days of shorts being triggered in the market. The next thing that I'm checking is structure. Lower lows and lower highs. We made a higher high on the day and pulled back. First pullback was right here. And it's squeezed and gone higher. So I've either missed the trade already, or this is going to continue to evolve. This was also an opening range breakout. London has made a lower low, and we're pulling back for New York. So that's the other side of the story, right? We've got the 3 days of shorts, yes, but yesterday was an opening range breakout. London has made a lower low. We're pulling back for New York. Is this ramp? Is this going to break down and go back for the lows? This is the high of the day up here. We have lower highs from London. You know, if they go up here and start working the high, this would fit the bill. London makes a lower low. New York pulls back. We get the rollover and, you know, goes back for the low. That would fit the criteria. What was last? Was last week we... Hold on, let's see. This has been consolidating for a while. So we had a week of breakouts down over here. And then we got an inside week. Nearly a double inside week. They did trigger previous week's high. Still looking like a dump for a pump for me, to me, but can't say for sure. GJ, I already looked at that one, but I'll go back. Oh, that okay. So this is starting to look a little bit better now. That pattern's looking fruitful. Higher high, higher low. Oh, so see you in the next one. God bless. All right, ladies and gentlemen, fantastic stream. Holy cow. Thank God that the stream has finally worked. This will be the last you hear of it. And this will be the last problems with technical difficulties. And I'll knock on wood immediately. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for attending. Hopefully this has been useful and beneficial to you all. Before you go, if you could just like the stream real quick, I'd greatly appreciate it. I do these every Wednesday and Friday at 8 a.m. Eastern Time. And I put out videos every Saturday. This week may be an exception because I have family holiday things that I'll probably be doing. But I'll get back to those videos next week. And, of course, live streams as well. You'll have a great rest of your day and have a great trading day. And if I take anything today, I will make sure to get it posted. I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.